What is going on YouTube land? I am Chris Catalunya. Before we get into the shoe review today, go ahead and check out my Instagram, Chris Catalunya with the underscore at the end. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload a new video. Alright, let's get into the shoe review. I'm actually a couple days late in reviewing this Yeezy 350 static model. Today is December 29th, 2018, and that is when this shoe dropped, the Yeezy 700 statics. When I'm done reviewing this shoe, I'll actually post up the link right here, but for today's video, we'll talk about the 350. Before we get into the specifics of the shoe, let me preface this by saying that I'm the person that sold all of their Yeezys when Kanye went crazy, and it was really hard for me to separate the man from the product. But for this product, it's pretty hard. This looks pretty freaking dope. Honestly, this is probably one of the best 350 drops this year, including the re-releases. So if I was gonna rank this for drops this year in 2018, I would rank this right under the zebras being the top. There are actually two different versions of this shoe. One was released on the Yeezy Supply website, and that was the 3M reflective material shoe. This is the non-reflective model. This is definitely more widely available. I actually hit on the Champs app and had to pick this up. The one on Yeezy Supply released on December 26th. This one released December 27th. Concerning retail, both the 3M model and the non-reflective model released at a price point of $220 USD, at a couple dollars based on your tax and your location. Concerning resale, looking at StockX, Grilled, or GOAT, the 3M reflective one had a high of about $1,600. Looking at it now, it's about $600. Now the non-3M one, this is going for about anywhere from like $200 to about $350, just depending on your size. I can't say that I didn't try to acquire the 3M reflective pair on the Yeezy Supply website. I definitely did, especially at that high resale value at that time of launch. I definitely tried to get that shoe, and it almost convinced me that Yeezys were back in style. Apparently the stock numbers for the website versions were set to 5,000 units, which is not a lot of pairs. And then the non-reflective ones, in the US, I think they had 11,000 units of these, and then in Europe, I think they had 39,000 units. I just think it's really funny how a name like Kanye West or the Yeezy brand is using a product like Shopify. Shopify is more like for small businesses, not big enterprises, and it's just funny to see them use that and then seeing the website go down. It's just a complete shit show. And I'm not just dogging on Yeezy Supply, I'm also dogging on Union Los Angeles, because those drops too were a fucking shit show. Let me reiterate the fact that I think this is a pretty dope shoe, despite the fact that I sold all of my Yeezys prior to. Looking at the upper of the material, it's mainly comprised of a prime knit material, employing the use of the color gray and white. What blows my mind are that some of these swatches have different patterns on it, and I'm just confused as to how they like wove it together to make like a seamless unit, a seamless upper. And not seamless in the sense that there are no seams. I mean seamless like it's a smooth transition. So one swatch you'll have dots, then one you'll have lines going vertically, and then you'll have diagonal lines right here. Looking at the medial side of the shoe, you have like that zigzag line right there. It's really cool, and it does give you that effect of like static from an old school TV. So the lateral portion of this shoe, so we have that prime knit material once again that runs from the top of the shoe all the way to the back of the shoe, and it feels pretty good to the touch. As you go through the different swatch patterns, they definitely have a different texture to them. Now cutting through the lateral portion, we have this translucent nylon that goes through, and this is normally where that Supply 350 logo is, but it's definitely absent on this shoe, and I kind of like that it's absent on the shoe. It definitely gives the shoe a different look. This translucent nylon is aesthetically pleasing as well as functional, being that these holes are a little bit open, that enables airflow to your foot, and also being that it's translucent, it gives you that aesthetic vibe. You can see this TPU plate on the inside that looks like Swiss cheese, which is pretty cool, and also it gives you the ability to wear like colored socks, black socks, green socks, whatever, and gives you the shoe a different look every time you wear a different color socks. And because it's translucent, you can see the sock. Looking to the medial side of the shoe, we don't have that translucent nylon stripe going down. Instead, we have the prime knit that is just sewn all the way down, and the swatches still maintain those different patterns and still feel pretty good to the touch. They definitely have different textures as you feel them. On the top of the shoe, where the lateral meets the medial portion of the shoe, it is actually stitched up in white threading and runs from the top of the toe all the way to the collar. And definitely one of my favorite parts of the 350 model is that they don't try to hide this seam, like try try to stitch it on the inside. They make it known that this is stitched on the outside and definitely looks aesthetically pleasing. As we move up into the shoe, we can get into the lacing system. Now, the eyelets are actually woven within the prime knit material, and the laces, the default laces, are of a round shape, and they take on the same colors of that gray and white theming. But the difference is that these shoelaces actually have 3M reflective material with them, so when light shines onto it, it bounces off and reflects. Now, this is the only portion of the shoe that reflects light. Unlike the 3M version released on the Yeezy Supply website, those shoes are wholly reflective. In all honesty, I really don't care about 3M reflective material on a shoe. It really doesn't do anything for me. Like, I'm really not going to try to check out your shoes in the dark. It's just not going to happen. So all the people buying shoes from Yeezy Supply, I mean, it's a cool brag, but who cares? Seriously, do you look at other people's shoes in the dark? Moving to the heel of the shoe, much like the top of the shoe where it connects the lateral and the medial and we have that white stitching going up, we have that stitching going up right here, reaching from the midsole of the shoe going up to the collar. Also, we have this heel tab right here done in a white nylon. Now, I know a lot of people don't like this heel tab. Me personally, I think it gives the shoe a little more characteristic and it looks pretty cool. And what I really like about this is how it's leveled with this striping that goes around the lateral side of the shoe. And if you didn't know, the heel tab helps you put the shoe on. Getting into the lining of the shoe, we get into the collar, which is actually covered by this white piece of fabric going around, and it's covered to prevent fraying from the prime knit material. On the inside of the shoe, the lining is done up in a white material and it feels like it's a neoprene material. It definitely feels pretty smooth to the touch. Now, this neoprene material is actually padded on the lateral, the medial, and the heel portions of the shoe, so it definitely feels really comfortable to your ankle. At the back, we have that Adidas 3-stripe branding running from the insole all the way to the top of the collar, and this is done up in a white color. I know in some other pairs, it's a reflective material, not the case on this specific shoe. Pulling the insole out from the shoe, it is pretty thin, but that's fine. We can talk about the midsole in a little bit and why this is thin. Now, it's done up in a white bed of fabric. Towards the heel area, you'll actually see the Adidas logo with the trefoil right here, and after that, it is the Yeezy logo. Now, there are some fakes out there, so just make sure the bottom of the words are actually facing the lateral portions of the shoe. Moving on to the midsole or the outsole of the shoe, it's pretty much the same thing on this particular shoe because we have this rubber enclosure that wraps all the way around, and what it's enclosing is this boost material that is actually exposed on the bottom of the shoe. So the rubber enclosure provides traction marks and durability. Now the boost, it's for cushioning solely. There's definitely no support within this boost material. Now, if you haven't tried a shoe with boost material in it, you should definitely try it out and compare it to like Nike Air's technology, the Phylon EVA, and compare it to the boost or the Adiprene or whatever. You will notice a big difference. This is definitely one of my favorite materials or technologies out there. Concerning fitment, usually I rock a size 8.5 or a 9 US. Because I've had the zebras before on the first release, I went with an 8.5. I kind of know what they feel like, so went with that size. And in this particular shoe, I have a little bit less than a half centimeter of space available, which is fine to me because this shoe is very sock-light and it's meant to conform to your foot. In terms of comfort, this shoe is hella comfortable. It provides a lot of cushioning, again because of that boost material that is embedded within the midsole of this shoe. The phrase of walking on clouds, this definitely embodies that phrase. Playing a role in that comfort category, I really love that the prime knit and the nylon translucent material, it is very breathable, especially since my foot, it sweats a lot, so definitely having these sources of air is definitely a benefit. Again, in separating the man Kanye West from the product, the Yeezy 350 V2 Static, this is definitely a hella dope design, and this is the second best V2 model, including the re-releases that came out this year. This is the second best Yeezy to come out this year. It's definitely a fresh look at the V2s, however, I still will say that we need a different model. We need a V3 or something that is totally different away from this. Now, referring back to resale prices, it's not helping that Kanye West is going out there and making pretty outlandish statements. But two, it's also not helping the brand by increasing crazy inventory units and not creating limited releases. So it's kind of cool that they did release a pair on the Yeezy Supply website and limited that to 5,000 units. As long as they keep doing that, I definitely think that the Yeezy brand will still maintain its hype. Just don't pull a Pharrell and release crazy colorways every week. It's oversaturated, it's getting pretty annoying. Alright guys, I think this is a good stopping point for this video. What do you think about the 350 V2s, the non-reflective, and the 3M ones released on Yeezy Supply? What do you think about the Yeezy 700? And I will do a review of this shoe. Just give me some time. Definitely stay tuned for that one. Alright, go ahead and check out my Instagram, Chris Catalunya with the underscore at the end. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload a new video. Alright guys, I am Chris Catalunya, and we will check you next time. Cheers, sige na.